Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I said I was gonna keep making videos because I love doing them, so I'm gonna keep making videos. So as you can see from the title, this one is a little bit about nursing. I'm not gonna go into like a lot of details regarding the job, but just some pros and cons. A lot of people have reached out to me like on Instagram and stuff, kind of like sporadically, not like every day. I'm not famous or anything. But people like ask me like what it's like to be a nurse, like if they should do it and stuff like that. So here's like some pros and cons to see if it's something that you think you might want to do. So yeah, let's get started. I've noticed that so many people I went to school with have become nurses or are in school to be a nurse, and I think that that's like so cool. I wish that we knew that that's what we wanted to do in high school and we could like have a little club or something and like, I don't know, push each other. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I think that like that would have been really cool if we had like known this back in the day and whatever. But anyway, it's really cool, it's really smart, and I'm supporting everyone that's doing it. So yeah. With that being said, my first pro is you will always have a job if you're a nurse. I think everybody knows that or has heard it at least once from someone, but job security with nursing, you'll have a job forever, unless you get your license revoked. But nurses will always be in need. We're always short nurses. They always say that, which I thought was kind of crazy when I was originally applying for jobs because it took me like 2 months to get hired. And I was like, what? I thought we were short nurses. But anyway, we really are. And from experience, we are always short staffed. There are certain nurses or certain units that are pretty well staffed, and they're usually like specialties like NICU and stuff like that, and peds. But most units are not well staffed. So you'll always have a job. And of course, during times like this where it's uncertain with Rona and everything, like it can be scary. We're one of the very few professions that is still working. So that can be scary that we're at the front line of it, but this is what we were called to do and we're good at it. So I would just keep supporting each other as we have been and just keep doing what you're doing because we're exposed to stuff all the time. Like nasty bacteria, contagious bacteria that like we always are exposed to, you know? So like this doesn't like this, yes, it's scary because it's novel, and like I think a lot of uneducated people are spreading news that like they shouldn't be spreading because they don't really know what they're talking about. But I think we're gonna be great. We're gonna be fine. And nurses out there and other healthcare professionals, anyone working in the hospital, anyone working in food, in the grocery stores, you guys are doing great and just keep on pushing. The next pro that I have is the good, great pay that you make as a new grad. Don't go into nursing for the pay because you will burn out. But it is good pay, like at the same time, you know? As a new grad, I've gotten a couple of raises since, but as a new grad, I did start at $27 and some change base pay, and then working night shift, you get a differential, and at my hospital it's 18%, so it's like $3 to $5 on top of that. And then now they're doing on weekends, you get $3 extra an hour when you work weekend days. And then obviously holidays you get time and a half, and then you can pick up shifts and get time and a half. Like there's so many opportunities out there to make extra money. If you gain the opportunity to become charge nurse or preceptor, you make money on top of that. Like there's so many opportunities, and right now Dwayne's not working and I'm able to support both of us and our dog. Like at 23 years old, I think that that's like a really good gig to have. And on top of that, I'm gonna get to the schedule, but I don't like to say to only be working 3 days a week because it's more than that. But to be working 3 days a week and making that much money and being able to support your family without feeling like you're struggling is really good. So think about it. It's rewarding. I know there are like some patients that some people can't handle, but we're here to help people And I think sometimes people forget about that, like they bring in their own issues to work and they, but I just keep thinking about this one patient that I had. I ended up actually receiving a Daisy Reward for it, which a Daisy Award is a nomination to nurses for doing a great job, basically. Like coworkers, other staff, the patient's family, anyone can nominate the nurse to receive this award. So it's a pretty cool award. You get to wear this little daisy pin on your badge, and basically it was for one of mine was for this patient that she was just really hard to work with. She was struggling with some things mentally and physically, and she just took a lot of time to handle her. And when you have 6 patients total, it's hard to dedicate that time to those patients, and it's hard to like take a deep breath and be like, okay, I can do this. I can spend some time with her. I think we get so caught up in the fact that we have to finish passing meds between 8 and 10, and we have 6 patients to do a head-to-toe assessment and to pass the meds, to talk to family, to talk to doctors, emergencies come up. Like, it can be a lot to handle, but we also have to remember too that we're nurses and we're there to like take that time. That's why I became a nurse, because I want to take that time and I want to spend that time with my patients that some doctors aren't able to do. So when I finally one shift got her to walk around the unit, got her to take her medications, when I received that award, like you start seeing what you're doing when you take that time, and it's like rewarding to see your patients get better. That's our goal. So it's definitely a career where you can see the outcomes of the hard work that you put in. There's so many different specialties. I think a lot of people talk about this too. There's so many different areas that you can go into as a nurse. You can work with babies, you can work with old people, you can work in an urgent care, you can work in the ED, like you can work in med surg. There's so many different areas, and if you get bored with something, move on. Like, you can do that. And it's not like some other jobs where I feel like a lot of people say like you don't want to hop from one thing to another, but like nursing, you can do that, and like you can get experience everywhere. And I would encourage that if you want to become like a family nurse practitioner or something like that, so you can like learn about all the different areas, and maybe you decide you don't want to be a FNP and that you want to specialize in something, and then you can know what area you want to specialize in. Speaking of that, NP school. So I don't know. I used to want to be a pediatrician, then I found I want to be a nurse, and I used to want to be a teacher and like all this stuff. But as an RN, you can go back to school and earn your NP within 2 to 3 years. And I think that's amazing, because an NP has essentially the same autonomy that a doctor has. I think in some states, NPs still can't own their own practice, but in most states they can. So you're basically a doctor, and you can get your DNP and be a doctor. So I just think that's really cool, because med students, they spend like 4 years in undergrad doing pre-med, and then they have to go to med school for like 6+ years. And if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But like, I think if you're a nurse, do this, or if you're thinking about going into that role, like I think NPs are going to be the next, I think it is already the next hottest thing to become. So yeah, I think that's really cool. I want to do it someday. I know like 2 of my classmates already have been accepted. There's probably more, but I probably just don't know. But you can jump into it a lot sooner than what people like originally did. I think a lot of people used to work for like 10+ years and then go back. Like now people are going straight into it. And that's really cool too, that you don't have to waste the time if you don't want to. If that's what you know that you want to do, just do it. Next pro, schedule. So like I said earlier, I don't like saying only, because 3/12s is something that some people aren't able to do. And I think that they think, oh, 3 12-hour shifts, like I could do that. Like you probably couldn't, but okay. But anyway, we do work 3 12-hour shifts. And sometimes those are 13, 14, 15, 16-hour shifts. Sometimes they're not only 12 because of how your night goes. But the other days throughout the week, you do get to have with your family or your side hustle or your pet or your kids or your whoever. And I think that that's really cool that we can clump our days together. So I like to work 3 in a row to bust it out, and then I have the rest of my week to do whatever. We do self-schedule, so it's not promised, but you mostly get what you want and work when you want. And like you can schedule yourself so that you can take a vacation without taking PTO, which is really nice. Because like if you work a 5-day-a-week job, you have only the weekend, you know? You can't schedule yourself to where you can take a vacation. Like you're just gonna be gone for the weekend, which if that's what people like, that's nice. But I really like our schedule a lot. And then I should have clumped this with pay, but we get something called ESI. I don't know if other jobs do this too, but I've only heard it in nursing so far. But ESI is extra shift incentives. So like I said, we're short staffed a lot. So especially during times like flu season and probably times like now, there are certain units that are really in need. And so they offer ESI, which is basically at our hospital, the fixed rate right now is $250 on top of your pay that you would be getting on that shift, which if it's an extra shift, then you're getting time and a half. So time and a half plus $250. That is a really good deal. They do try to limit it to 2 of those per pay period, but when they're really in need, they'll let you work as much as you want. So some people really rack up on that. And like I said, if you're a new grad, you can start like getting ahead on your loans or, you know, just supporting your family. But yeah, so that's really cool. There's probably lots of other pros that I'm missing, but I kind of just whipped this up real quick. So I'm going to move on to the cons. Work-life balance as a night shifter. So that can be hard. So my phone shut off again, like the last video. So I'm getting to the cons now. So work-life balance as a night shifter, that can be kind of hard. I think that a lot of people think like, oh, you work at nights, like you have all day. Like, no, like I still have to sleep too. So that can be kind of hard when your schedules are opposite. Like Dwayne, he's in clinicals now, but when he was in class, it would be like he would get home from class and then I'm going to work. Like that really sucks, you know? And like, I think that if ever, now is the best time before we have kids and stuff like that, but it can be really challenging. I do know that some people make it like that. People that are already parents, like their husband or wife that works a different kind of job will work throughout the week and then they'll work on the weekend. And that way they'll never have to do childcare. So I guess it's a pro and a con at the same time. But for me, I also kind of struggle with it when it comes to like mental health and just like, again, not really being able to spend time or like talk to family and friends whenever I want to because our schedules are flip-flopped. I think night shift really can take a toll on your mental health because you're not sleeping right, you're not eating right, and your physical and mental health tied together. So that can be kind of challenging, but then if you find ways to cope with it, I'm sure you'll be fine. I know a lot of people love night shift. I love night shift. It's not what I want to do forever, but it's really not as bad as what people think. It can just be hard balancing outside life. My next con is it may take you a while to find exactly what you want. And I think that this is the same thing for any profession. You may not like your job right away or things like that. I took a med-surg position to begin with. It was med-surg psych. I knew that I liked psych. I knew that I didn't want to do med-surg. I ended up in med-surg anyway, and I don't regret it. I really didn't like it to begin with. There are lots of days where I was like, I really don't like this place, but I made some great friends on the unit and I gained great opportunities like becoming charge nurse and preceptor, and I just learned so much. If you want to learn a lot, if you want to try to find out what you want to do, you have no idea, do med-surg because you'll get everything. You'll get every type of thing that you can think of, and you'll soon find out what you like and what you don't like. So I guess another pro within a con, I didn't like it, but now I'm working towards what I do like, and I will hopefully like find exactly what I like so then I know what I want to study in NP school. Again, that understaffed part of nursing. So yes, that can be nice because you can earn extra money, but you're understaffed. So and we're already understaffed on night shift because we don't have those resources like OTPT, SOPs. Like we don't have those people on night. And then our doctors are like mostly over the phone. So, we're already short staffed on nights. So then to be short with nurses, it can be really hard because then it's putting 6 patients on you with no help from other therapies and stuff like that. A lot of times we'll only have 1 aide on the floor, and so they can't really help with much either because they're probably tied up doing something else. And then a lot of times management's not there either. So it can be really tough sometimes being short staffed, although if you think about it, you're like, okay, I'm making this much, like I can get through it, which you shouldn't think that way, but like sometimes that's how you end up thinking because you're like, why did I sign up for this shift? This is crazy. Like they're short staffed and I'm signing up to work in a short staffed unit. Like you're just setting yourself up, kind of. But management always appreciates your help when you sign up for stuff like that, and then you're compensated by the extra shift incentive sometimes. So that's really cool. Another con is during uncertain times like this. Like I said earlier, like it can be really scary to be in times like this for healthcare professionals. I think healthcare professionals in general are kind of like a lot more lax than the rest of society when it comes to things like this because we're exposed to nastiness all the time. We're exposed to things all the time that can be transmitted by contact, airborne, droplet. I think it's just more crazy right now because we're short on things like hand sanitizer and masks and things like that because we have a lot of selfish, uneducated people in our country. So that kind of sucks because we're the ones that really need it, you know. And then it can be scary coming back home. Right now I'm working with the baby, so I'm not really exposed as much, I feel, as the people that are working with adults, but it's scary for me to know that like Dwayne right now is in field work and he's around adults and like he is telling me all the time how they're short masks, and then like he could be bringing that back to me and I could be taking that to my floor, you know. It's just like, it's crazy what's going on, and it's crazy to me that people still aren't social distancing. Like I want to shop too, I want to go to the beach, like I want to hang out with friends and family, but it's not always about me and it's not always about you. And I think that it's just really important to think about that during this uncertain time. This wasn't supposed to be a Rona video, but we got to that. So, but yeah, so overall, like I said, if you're thinking about doing nursing for the money, don't, because you're gonna burn out. Nursing is a really tough career, and people tell me all the time that nurses don't deserve the credit that we deserve. I'm not asking for people to give me awards. I'm not asking for people to praise me for being a nurse. Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I love doing. I love helping people. I love taking care of people. But if you just want to do it for the money, you're gonna burn out because, first of all, we don't get paid enough for what we do. But at the same time, I said we make good money. But if you're just going to go for it for that, you're going to burn out. Like working 12 hours a night or a day and you don't like what you're doing, like it's going to be tough on your mental. But if this is something that you want to do, go for it. Like now is the perfect time to go for it. I'm not saying because of coronavirus, but I mean because like, why wait? Like we will always need nurses. Don't wait until you start having kids. Don't wait until you have other things that you're gonna have to sacrifice while in school, because when you go to school, you're gonna have to be like all hands in. I really challenged myself in school because I worked. I was president of my sorority and or involved in another aspect of my sorority. I lived 30 minutes away from school, so I'm driving to and from every day. That can not only put a dent in my pocket from gas, but it can just be a lot. But like I ended up finding ways to like my drives. Like they became therapeutic to me, and I would like listen to podcasts or just like jam out and release my stress that way. But what was I saying? Oh, so I worked, I was in a sorority, I was in nursing school, I was in a relationship with Dwayne at the time. Doing long distance is hard, and I would just like want to chill sometimes, and like that is doing a lot. That is really doing a lot during nursing school. Some people don't work and they're like, I don't know how you can work during this, but like to work and be involved in an extracurricular, like it can be a lot. If you want to do it, you'll get it done. I did. I think that if I wasn't involved in other things, I may have gotten better grades in some of my classes, but I've been an all A student all throughout, all the way up till nursing school, which is kind of ironic. But you can get through. And just to touch on that really quick, a lot of people said during nursing school, like, GPA doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. Like, we got in, we're gonna be good, we're gonna become nurses, but like, and like a lot of people at the time are like, F this, I don't want to ever go back to school. But now a lot of people are wanting to go back to school, and our GPA is going to matter somewhat. I mean, most schools are asking for a 3.0, so that's not bad. But don't get C's in all of your classes in nursing school and think that C's get degrees, because you won't be able to like advance your career if you get C's in all your classes. But anyway, that's for another video. Thank you for watching. I love making these videos. I love talking to myself on camera, obviously. So yeah, this was fun. I'd love to make more nursing videos, or just like honestly talk about anything. I can't talk about wedding planning because that hasn't started. But yeah, so thanks for watching. I look forward to making more. Bye.